tienes esa cosa especial, bella mariposa especial, ella con su rosa especial, todos quieren ese especial, tú tienes esa cosa especial, bella mariposa especial.
Huzzah! I am Monk, your host. Welcome to PIDCAST episode 27, the podcast by fans, for fans, and for the people who just really need to vent about the Colorado Rapids. PIDCAST is part of the Bangarang soccer community, telling soccer stories a mile in the sky and on till morning. After you're all done pressing pins into your front office voodoo dolls, come touch grass with us at our free-to-play pickup around Denver. Don't forget to check out our sibling show, Sum It Up, covering all things Denver, Summit FC, NWSL, and women's sports here at 5280. Say hello to my co-host and fantasy queen, Fitouri.
Hey, girl, hey.
And the guy who knows the food options at Taylor's wedding already, Matt.
So, this is a hard time for me because, and I hope Allie's not listening to this. I kind of assumed it was going to be me. So, that's why I know all
Marrying
the food
Travis
options.
Kelce?
Sure, because we already picked him out. We already picked out just thousands upon thousands of very tiny cakes.
I also wonder if this is our last, we've missed our opportunity to be a line in a Taylor song.
Oh, no, there's
What?
still divorces down the road. Don't worry.
Is her music just going to suck for the next 5 years?
Yep.
Oh, come on. You could be happy and make good music. Plenty of wait. I don't
someone
think any
can.
artists have done that.
Someone can.
Someone can. Can Taylor?
Show me a
Actually,
happy
sure.
artist with good music.
Oh, speaking of sadness, a rough one this week. We talk about the less than ideal Galaxy game and preview the upcoming away game in Kansas City. Of course, we will have our regular Pidder Chatter segment with all things Rapids and Colorado soccer news and our fantasy segment. Let's get to it. What's going on in Pidder Chatter, Matt?
Well, since last week, I think the biggest news is that Paxton Aronson has officially signed, press conferenced, trained, and played for the Colorado Rapids. You guys watch him get out there, almost score a goal. So I think that's immediate dividends on that $7 million transfer fee. So we just need the next one to go in.
He looks
Absolutely. It was
decent.
really...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk more about this game, but he did infuse some energy into the field, maybe just too little too late. But it was fun, and I really appreciated some of the analysis you had of his style of play because it helped me really appreciate watching what he was trying to do. And I'm excited to see what he's able to do when he gets more time practicing with the team and can further build those connections.
Can we start a kind of BCAD nomenclature where it's BP, AP kind of thing? No, never mind. Moving on. The Colorado
Before
Rapids
Paxton
after
Aronson played?
Paxton? Yeah, before
Before he played?
No.
this dog won't hunt. The
Is
Colorado
it all
Rapids.
PP and BP? PP!
We sound
Back in the
toddlers
Georgie.
getting potty trained.
Back in the Georgie days. I remember when Jack Price played for this team. That was PP, well before your time, kids.
Man, I remember when an Emmy Award-winning man played for us, so...
Oh yeah, I didn't even put that in the Pidder Chatter. Marcelo Balboa won an Emmy, you guys, for his work with Univision.
Bringing the Rapids total trophies up to 3.
Can we borrow it and put it in the stand somewhere?
Oh, come on. There's been an app. Hey, we gave you that really nice electric bike, Cello. Maybe let us hold that trophy for a season or 6?
Let Monk drunkenly walk it around the stadium.
Exactly.
No.
Yes.
That's a
brilliant plan.
That thing looks very breakable. Rocky Mountain Cup can take it. The Emmy, I don't think so.
I think the Rocky Mountain Cup has proved, in fact, it cannot take it. It's been
Plus,
broken multiple times.
There's no point. It can't be a vessel for alcohol, so I don't know that it needs to make its way to the supporter section.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that severe limitation to an Emmy.
Oh, if there's a will, there's a way
Really
to
a
drink
waste.
out of that trophy.
Oh my god. All right. Well, in other news, the Colorado Rapids have been showing up in the local community. Monday featured Zach Steffen's Voice Now Youth Camp out at the Dick. Voice Now is Zach's organization built to bridge gaps and envision a world where opportunities and resources are not determined by where you live, your family income, or the color of your skin. Also Monday, the team hosted a fan forum with Rapids team president Poreg Smith, and it was hosted by local soccer celebrity weatherman Chris Bianchi. Over the course of 90 minutes, Poreg fielded questions from fans both in person and submitted previously, including 2 back-to-back questions on the scoreboard. So I guess we know what's important to fans. I believe you can still find the live stream of this on the team's YouTube page. Does either of you guys go to this or watch the live stream?
I didn't watch live. I saw some snippets of it that were posted and things like that. Those things are always interesting because anybody that's representing Cronky and any is only going to give you so much answer, and it's going to be be a lot of that political brush off for a lot of things, right? Like even the scoreboard answer was like, "We're looking into it," right? Like no real substance to that. So
this is my caveat now for the front office. We try to be positive. You can't lose 3-0 to Galaxy and expect us to not come on this podcast and be snarky bitches. So just like turn this one off and come back after you win.
Okay, after we get the Save It for the Pod shirts made, we have to get snarky bitches.
Snarky bitches.
Man,
no, that's on the back.
Our crafting department is going to be working overtime. The team did announce at the end of this fan forum that in the offseason there will be another fan forum with CBO Haley Dermer, who you can just go ahead and listen to her interview with us if you want to know all the cool stuff and energy that she's bringing. But the fan forum will also feature KFC President Kevin Demoff. And so I think if I'm gauging your reactions right, Sara and Monk, you want the one after that to feature Stan and Josh Kroenke, maybe in the penthouse at Ball Arena.
Exactly.
Yes, please.
I'd be down for that.
Or if we can't do the penthouse at Ball Arena, can we do Kroenke's suite where apparently all the alcohol sits sealed from like opening day?
Oh man.
Here's what I really want. I just want legit timeline and answers. Right? I don't like the maybes, the hypotheticals, the we're looking into it. I want you to tell me this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to update the stadium. This is when it's going to be done. This is how we're going to invest in the team. This is when that's going to be done. This is our plan, and here is the deadlines you can hold us to. And until they do that, they haven't garnered enough trust because they've continually said things that don't.
All right, Monk wants a victory crossing flowchart, guys.
Exactly.
Actionable deadlines. Actionable deadlines. I also just really want to go up to that penthouse in Ball Arena. So, guys, I'm an easy get. If you need, like a pigeon in your pocket to just sing the praises, I want to see this penthouse. Also in the community, Tuesday, Darren Yappie, and Cole Bassett were out with the kiddos to kick off the brand new urban soccer pitch downtown at 16th Street and Arapahoe. This pitch is a partnership between the nonprofit Street Soccer USA and the Colorado Rapids. The Rapids will be hosting 5v5 pickup Thursday night from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Skyline Park pitch. New signings Paxton Aronson and Rob Holding will be in attendance. I think this is really cool. I've ridden by the field. I think it's awesome. We are in desperate need of more safe, lit, free soccer spaces. And so this is a home run to get one right downtown for me. What do you guys think of this?
What's the date we're holding?
Rob Holding. Oh my gosh. Look, Rob Holding, I've met you. You're a very nice guy. I'm sure you're probably good on the soccer field, but I need you to leave the team just because I don't know how many more seasons of holding puns I can take from Monk. And it's basically only been like 3 weeks.
He's holding on for dear life.
I'm holding space for a freak out.
Wow.
Oh, man. Also in the community, Rapids held the Adams County 14th School District Resource Fair in conjunction with Adelante, Colorado, and Select Health. The team had school kids into the stadium for on-pitch games and activities, as well as supplying backpacks and other school necessities. I know this might seem like we just did kind of a Rapids front office community board, but I think a big part of our ethos has always been to talk about how important the community is. And so I want to make sure when we see the team, the front office, going out there and doing the work in the community, it gets recognized because I think that only begets more community activation and benefit. So kudos to everyone involved in making those events happen, and we love to see more of that.
Yeah, and Adams 14, of course, is the Commerce City School District, so where the Rapids play themselves. That district itself represents like some of our highest need students, the folks who, before Trump got rid of all the title programs or all title schools, and actually the state had been trying to break down and get rid of that district for a long time due to performance. So like this is a district that has been facing a lot of hardship, under attack, coming together to really like fight to save their schools. And it's cool to see. We've talked about how can soccer be accessible to folks that are not suburban white families, and so I think this kind of community outreach is really important. You're welcome. I will always come in on the deep cuts about schools.
That's the benefit of our lawyer working for the teachers union. So she's a multifaceted defender of all things good. In other news, our photographer, Luis Fernando, you've seen his beautiful artwork on our social media. He helps out with a local youth soccer academy called Chivas Denver Soccer Academy. They're currently looking for sponsorships for their upcoming school year programs. So we will put a post out on our socials linking to them and their sponsorship packages. This is a tremendous effort that helps a lot of kids who can normally fall between the cracks in the commodified youth to pro soccer system. So I know this is something near and dear to his heart, and a cause we all want to get behind. So look out on our socials for that. Tomorrow we will get that information out to you. In some fun news, happy belated 22nd birthday to Paxton Aronson. At time of recording, Paxton turned 22 yesterday. And happy 42nd birthday today to Coach Chris Armas. The 42 was the number told to me by the comms team at training on Tuesday. So we have no further reason to doubt that number, and that's what we're going to roll with. We posted a fun throwback photo of Chris Armas during his fire days that one of my soccer pickup buddies took. And boy, did he have a head of hair. He looks like quite a young man in that photo. So go check that one out. Guys, do you remember what it was like when you were 22?
No, I don't remember.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Sarah, your story earlier about the artisanal Jello shots seemed like maybe you're still feeling 22.
I always 22 at heart, and like Chris Armas, I also claim an age roughly within a decade of my actual age. So this is
why do you keep telling people that you're 43?
I feel like I look really good for a 43-year-old, and I'm still trying to find a mature man. And maybe 43 years the answer.
They don't exist, I'm telling you.
No.
Facts. No,
it's all just a facade. Yeah.
They just pretend to be mature as they get older.
Exactly.
Or don't.
Yeah, we get better at pretending. It's cosplay.
We just get lazy. It's really the truth.
You know, like your first cosplay costume at Comic-Con versus like your 60th cosplay costume at Comic-Con, you get better at it. And so I think that's what's going on here.
Monk, did he get the language right?
Kind of. He
was cosplaying cosplay pretty well there.
He was.
Yeah. And as soon as I get my Pokemon Go level up, Sarah and Monk are gonna invite me to the club.
Exactly. Just have to get there.
In my favorite news of the week, at training on Tuesday, we had a full Keegan Rosenberry bike sighting. Keegan was sporting some brand new bright and fly orange cleats, and as such appeared to be, as the kids say, on one. During crossing drills, Calvin Harris put a ball in the air from left to right to a waiting Keegan Rosenberry. He said it might have been a bad touch. I don't know, but either way, his first touch puts it above his head. And what does he do? An impeccable Marcelo Balboa impression to bicycle that ball right into the goal. Zach Steffen called this, and I quote, the training goal of the year. Guys, people were hype for this. The whole team was celebrating Keegan. And I don't know if it's the orange shoes, if he's also feeling 22, but he looked spirited and spry. So congratulations on that. I can't wait to see it this weekend against SKC.
So fun.
And then moving into the national team, kind of touching on a conversation we had last week. The haters are up in arms today after the U.S. men's national team September camp roster was revealed. While it included no Rapids players, it did usher in a quote from Mauricio Pochettino, coach of the national team, that'll make all the internet boys cry in their mom's basements. The quote goes, "We need to give MLS the value because I think competing there, I think players can show that they can perform in the national team. I think it's not necessary to move from MLS to Europe because sometimes in MLS, under my assessment, maybe it's more competitive than some leagues in Europe." So between Paxton choosing the Rapids and Poch saying that MLS competes well enough to be a big consideration for the national roster, I think internet boys are in shambles. You guys know any internet boys we need to check on?
Well, pour one out for him. The Euro snobs have been shut down by the coach. Sorry.
Man.
I'm sad that we don't have any Rapids players on it, though. Like, part of me's sad, part of me's glad because we have players here that are continuing to play for us. And based on the struggle that we saw this last weekend, we're going to need every ounce of talent that we have to still make the playoffs. So
Monk's acting like he didn't just write 5,000 strongly worded letters to keep Stefan home because he was like, last time we gave him to you, you sent him back a little broken. So we need our Purple King in Commerce City, please.
I wonder how much of that might have come into play. The fact that we are very much in a playoff push, trying to straddle or ascend from the play-in line. And if there's kind of a agreed upon notion that Zach will probably start the October game that we're hosting here in Denver, thus they let him stay home for his MLS competitions and gave someone else his roster spot for the September camp. I'm curious now to see with the introduction of Paxton Aronson to the team, if that will help his chances of getting a look in the October camp, what the fact that he's based where the camp will be being held. Over at our sibling show, Sum It Up, host Hallie Guardo was featured on Full Time with Tamara Griffin at the Athletics Women's Soccer Show. Hallie did a cool segment where they were talking about the NWSL transfers and then went to two local podcast beat reporters from the Boston Legacy and Denver Summit to talk about the player signings so far for the two new expansion teams. And Hallie was the reporter and host that was chosen for that. I thought her segment was amazing, and it just shows that our little ragtag bunch of soccer heads is starting to get some recognition.
That's pretty bangerang, if I must say so myself.
Yeah. Monk, if you were going to go
on... like bangerang Hallie?
Banger.
Is that how we do it? There's a Hallie bangerang? God,
there needs to be like a third syllable for like the Rufio thing.
Hallie.
Hallie G. Hallie G. Hallie. That kind of works. Monk, if you were going on a national podcast, what would you talk about? Or what podcast would you go on? Would it be Joe Rogan?
Oh, hell no. If I was going to go on one, I'm sorry. I'm just a big Men in Blazers fan. So, like, they just have a good vibe for me that I think I could fit into because they'll drink on the show and have some fun. I have to go to the right show because there's certain shows I just won't fit in. Let's be honest about it. So I got to find that right show that allows obnoxious drunk people into it.
What about you, Sarah?
Well, first, I'm just learning that we're not a national podcast, so that's breaking my heart a little. Obviously, I've been vying for a spot on the MLS Fantasy Insider. Although with my performance this year, I feel strongly that Matt's going to get invited before I will. But shout out to my favorite MLS fantasy podcast. I don't know. I think that that's like kind of my most niche like hobby, other than obviously supporting the Rapids, which is insanely niche.
All
So I feel
right,
like it'd
all
be about
right,
that. Or
all
like,
right.
you know, like some nerdy union podcast that's going to get me on more lists than I already live on.
More lists. Heard. Speaking of lists, get on the list Friday night, the 29th. Our favorite local band, Don Chicharron, is playing Manos Sagrados in Aurora. Tickets are $15 in advance and $20 at the door. Go to manossagrados.com to purchase. We will be dancing our pants off. And with that, let's dance our pants off to a different segment.
And all joy dies here with
Yeah.
our Galaxy recap. So the Rapids played our Achilles heel on Saturday. The good guys went down in the 7th minute, and it was all heartache from there. Galaxies were able to hold the score 1-0 through the half. And then the second half was all insult to injury, with the Galaxy scoring 2 more times, all of which were unanswered by the Rapids. And in these troubled times, I look to great American poetry. So please accept this cheap parody of a poet great. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The Locos band is playing somewhere, and at some tailgate, hearts are light, and somewhere fans are laughing, and somewhere Burgundy boys shout. But there is no joy at the Dick, for the mighty Rapids have struck out.
We are really furthering our image as just like the Rapids podcast for everyone else. If you didn't see Seen by one of the Rapids podcasts, we've probably hit your niche by now.
Did you really thrive in high school English class? We've got a spot for you.
Join us for our next slam poetry watch party.
Oof.
I love it.
Honestly, some drums over that Galaxy game, like light bongos, might have lowered my blood pressure.
Just like
It was just a bad game. It
Yeah.
was just bad. We had one shot on target, a singular shot on target.
What's better than no shots on target?
We had 0
Shout out
people
Kansas
in our
City.
lineup running in the green, while LA, essentially everybody. Right? Like that's like, so bad. So bad.
I was watching this at DNVR, met some new friends. I want to tell you all to begin with, this is my fault, because as soon as the game was starting, I was like, they put the betting odds up, and, you know, like it always shows that the home team has like the better odds 99% of the time. And I said, what? That's ridiculous. Galaxy couldn't beat their own shadow. And then this happened. But did you all notice how Galaxy basically went up on us with their deep bench because they were resting all their superstars? So it was like we were losing, we were like struggling to keep up with them, and then at the 64th minute they put in Peck and Paintsill, and it was like, oh, we were losing to your B squad. Whoops, buddy.
Yeah, that first goal was scored by Northeast Prep School creative player Harbor Miller. Like, come on, ChatGPT, you're not even trying hard now.
Okay. We had, I think someone counted out 7 players in that 18 when that goal was scored. And nobody marked the in-running guy. Not a person. That guy had nothing around him. He could have stopped that ball, did a dance, and then kicked it in.
Well, did you look again? Who lost the nose goes? It's obviously that person's fault.
So at my glance watching it, I thought Laraz was got pulled off left instead of coming and going and taking his mark coming in, is what it looked like to me. But we still had 7 players back there, and not a single person watched this guy walk into the 18. It's not like he was way out. Like, what were we doing in that first goal?
This is payback for the Hafa Navarro goal that he scored when everyone stopped because Calvin Harris got fouled. Harbor Miller got fouled, and it seemed like when he went to ground, everyone forgot he existed again because he's an NPC. And after all of that, he he decided to just get up, brush himself off, and pull himself up by his Boston roots. I have no idea where he's from. Harbor Miller, I'm sure you're a lovely person, and I don't want to besmirch your hometown wherever you're from. But for the sake of this story, pulled himself up by his Boston boots, had a Dunkin's, and decided to just be the nail in the coffin for the Rapids. And I say nail in the coffin at 1-0 because everything after that was just a eulogy. Once the Galaxy scored in the 7th minute, I think we've seen this exact recipe 4 times this season. Uh, they scored early and then put 9 men behind the ball and just had a lone striker hanging out up top to counter. And the Rapids could find no way to break down that bus and get a shot on goal, let alone get an equalizer.
We rode a high. We beat what, Minnesota in Minnesota, and then beat Atlanta like we should have. And then are we maybe seeing a little bit that we miss that 10? Like, he can't, obviously we got Aronson, he came off the bench, and he looked decent, but he didn't make the green either. Like, he was still playing in the orange. Like, are we seeing a little bit from that transition right now that we're hurting because of that?
I hesitate to go too deep into why we lost this one because of what we just talked about. I really do think this is the case of the Rapids let a stupid goal in the 7th minute, and then Galaxy just said, F it, put the e-brake on the bus and sat in front of their goal for the next 83 minutes. And like that's a hard one to really break down tactically because you then have Chris pushing all of the Pids forward to try and just like put a barrage through that very low block. I don't know. We went back to the back four. So
I also I think it's really hard to blame this one on one position because it just felt like nothing was coming together. And we just could not get into the box. We would have like several touches and they were keeping us out of that box. We could not make it into the box. Alternatively, Galaxy would get like 3 clean touches in the midfield and just plant it easily to a guy sitting in the box on the other side. It was wild to watch. It reminded me a lot, and I can't remember, was it Cruz Azul or Tijuana that played that kind of style of play where they like
Tijuana.
It was Tijuana that just like blocked that box. We like could not find our way in. It just felt like once they got that first score, it was that very similar style of play. And then, so they parked the bus, sure. Then they put their heavy hitters in, and then they were able to monopolize on the other end of the field, which fucking hurt.
Yeah. I mean, we did get pretty lucky this week. If you look around at the results, Sarah, you were talking about in the pre-show prep, we started 7th, we ended 7th. How on earth do we deserve to still be in 7th after that performance? But when you look through the schedule, NYCFC took down Cincinnati, Nashville took down, Orlando was rotated, so I don't know how much that counts. But it seemed kind of like a game for questionable results, or a match day for questionable results.
It's true. We did lose, because I'm usually a person who looks at the points per game and not the total because of we have extra games in hand or things like that. So we actually lose a spot in that. Austin should be above us, and we fall to 8th. But we've talked about it a bunch this season. I tried not to talk about it on the last cast, that we play down to our opponents when they are worse than us, and we played down. But do you think if we had put in Aronson and Holding and started those players instead of having Aronson come off the bench, and then we didn't even see Holding come in. Obviously, you don't want to put a defensive sub when you're down multiple goals, but just like, do you think that changes things if we actually play what most would argue are our best players, even though we just got them, they just transitioned like are we better off if he's starting the game and maybe we have a little bit momentum and maybe we don't make that mistake there? Because, again, he is more known currently for like his defensive mid stuff, so he might have been the guy actually stopping that shot and paying attention. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point, Monk. I will say that kind of how we talked about the ball watching with like Ollie, Noah, and Maxu were all back there. It did look like Reggie was making a really big effort on that Harbor Miller shot to try and at least cut off some of the space and shooting angle. But I think we probably have the like Schrodinger's cat of, do we have the guys that had the training and on pitch compatibility and had a lapse of awareness or judgment? Or do we put in two guys that we're hoping maybe can raise the floor of our on-field playing ability, but have trained for, I think, in the case of Rob Holding, 3 days, and Paxton Aronson, like a half day? Like they're just as likely to have that lapse, if not more. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm not mad at holding them.
No, I'm guessing that the calculus was that our existing squad should have been able to easily win this game, and a disconnect in the field could have lost us the game. Now, of course, hindsight, I would have rather flipped the coin. And there's clearly a brighter timeline somewhere where this game went differently, but I don't hate the play, I hate the outcome.
So I think in the end of this, we can all agree that it was equally totally not real person Harbor Miller's and Sarah's Destroy the Galaxy rant fault that we lost there. Like those are the two guilty parties. So
well,
Harbor,
I heard
Sarah,
a couple of fans traveled, and the team doesn't like that kind of pressure, so probably blame that.
That's a little rough.
If you travel to this game, you're banned from any other game.
No other games.
This goes back to, what is it? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl episode where Charlie's like, D, don't you know that every single action that every single fan takes affects the outcome of the game?
Yeah, the truth is we aren't good on the road, right? We're 3-7-4. And so we struggle on the road, and that's the way we've been all season. It's just one of those games that, like, the Galaxy has been in the gutter this whole season, and it, statistically speaking, we should have just still dominated them on the road, and we didn't. And that's a disappointment. It's a game we should have definitely won. We left points, and the bigger question is that going to hurt us when it comes playoff time? So you leave these points that you should have gotten. It's gonna be tough.
What does it say going into another game that we absolutely should win on the road this weekend, right? Like, is this the Rapids that we're currently seeing are the ones that are back to losing games they have no business losing?
So I think we're going to be okay, Sarah, because like Monk's point of us struggling on the road, we also struggle or triumph in reverse fixtures. So like we beat LA Galaxy, and then LA Galaxy beat us in the other matchup. Kansas City beat us. So if trend follows this season, we should have no problem beating Kansas City in a reverse matchup. So that's
Speaking
where
of fantasies that he's trying to keep and live out here, I think we can roll into some fantasy. Ready for Tony?
Yeah. Like the Rapids, I similarly experienced a humiliating week in fantasy. So another bad one for me. I walked away with 65 points, which maybe is a meh number, but when you look at the type of outcomes folks were getting this week, a lot of scores in the 90s and low hundreds, that was a pretty sad outcome. I want to shout out to Kevin of Kev's Churro Crew, who like absolutely smoked me this week. Not only did he walk away or like with a W in our matchup, but he also got the highest score in the league overall this week. So really good playing there, Kev. Honestly, my weakness this week was around started with like kind of not finding the clean sheets. I had a lot of players that made it past that 60-minute mark, so they had the 5 points added to their 70-minute mark. Can't remember when they add that in, 80, whatever. Had the 5 points added to their score and then lost it by letting in a late game goal. So I just saw really, really low scores across my defense. I want to say that I was like, you know what? Matt's having a pretty good season. I'm gonna listen to him a little bit. I'm gonna buy into this rapid hype. So I had Stefan following Monk's lead as my goalie, and then I made an 11th hour. You know what? I'm gonna believe in this team for once choice, Captain Navajo. And you know what? Like I said, in another timeline, Rapids won that game, and Vaho got a brace, and I beat Kevin Fantasy. But unfortunately, I get to live in the darkest Fantasy Rapids timeline.
Oh, yeah. I'm living and dying by the Rapids. I scored a total of 16 points.
What?
Yeah.
Do you still have Georgie on your team?
How many Rapids were you starting?
I have 3 Rapids starting.
You get like 16% in your name at the top.
Yeah. You gotta remember, I also had Captain Devo put up 4 points. I had Stefan in goal.
Ooh.
And I was running Laraz. And then, live, die by the Messi, didn't play. So
That's on you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it was bad. It was just a
if
bad.
I've said it once,
I've
said it a million times. Check lineups, including your own fantasy lineup, Monk. Because it was announced that Messi wasn't playing like a day before.
Oh, I don't look at it till the day of the cast.
Okay. Well,
Sarah, I was kind of in a similar boat to you, except wasn't the clean sheets. I couldn't find a striker to save my life. I had Boanga, who I guess like now is useless in fantasy because Son's gonna hoover up all the points, or is it gonna be like a one or the other hits every week kind of conundrum? Because that's gonna suck for my kind of weekly Denis Boanga play. I had Chucky Luzano. I think he had a goal called back for being offsides. And then I also captained Hapa Navahu, which I just thought I didn't even think that was a homer pick. Like Hapa against the Galaxy on the heater he's been on seemed like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
Hanny kept me afloat. Shout out Kai Wagner, 19 points to him. And then I also played Stefan, but I had him on my bench, and then put my boy Christian Kalina on with Charlotte FC because I knew he was going to be pissed off. They signed Drake Callender, and he wasn't going to let a goal in. So I got the clean sheet from him.
I went Stefan, but I went to Fry, who back in goal for Seattle. But Seattle let in a late goal. So both him and Yamar on my defense got wrecked. But similarly, thank God for Mukhtar Wagner, or my head would be hanging even lower this week. Some big points for those two.
That's happened to me a bunch. I think I've typically played the goalkeeper against Montreal, and like 3 times I've had the clean sheet points up until like the last 3 minutes. And then Montreal, like Prince Owusu scores a goal and it screws me.
Honestly, I don't think much motivates Montreal to do well, but wrecking people's MLS fantasy teams. They're like, you know what? We're not going to win the game, but we might as well just like score a late one, you know?
I need like a
those clean sheet points.
We need a garbage time goal like buffer.
Oh, right. Well, and folks who nerd out in the past would know that there used to be, the way they used to do it is that if a player played their minutes, played their 60, but then came out, like were subbed out before their team broke the clean sheet, they still got the clean sheet, but they've changed the rules to where no one on the team gets the clean sheet if the team doesn't have a clean sheet. So there's not even those fun loopholes anymore. You just have to bank on the right clean sheet for defenders, or, find a player like Kai Wagner who is going to find his points from elsewhere. But I think this year, my experience with those defenders are they're few and far between, and then they're stupid expensive. I know you don't care about money, but 12.3 for a defender is a lot to bank.
Well,
how much?
I set my fantasy lineup on a yacht, so.
Wait, what is your budget right now?
Hold please. My budget is 178.75 million.
Ooh, that's filthy. I'm at 165. I know.
Oh.
I'm at 165. I would imagine that it went down a bit this week, though, with all the low scores I saw. But yeah, you don't have to make any rostering decisions on your budget now, huh?
I mean, the entire first 8 weeks of the season, I didn't do any auto switch like any of those ruse, I put guys on my bench that I believed were going to go up in price. And so it affected my bottom line score each week, but it raised my top line budget every week.
I think I did too. I would be curious to know how much of the difference in our budget is Messi alone, because Messi's average is so high that even when he does well, his price doesn't go up or it might even go down. And so I wonder if some of that is that you were playing players that had a higher price rise over time, where I always was holding that spot for Messi.
Yeah. Well, speaking
Uh,
of holding spots for Messi, I don't think they're holding a spot for him in the lineup this week. So who are you going to play?
Oof, great question. Um, I You go first with a few. I'll have mine in a sec.
All right. Looking through, I think the funniest game of the week is going to be Toronto versus Montreal. I think these are two bad Canadian teams, but whenever they play each other, there's usually fireworks. So if this was if you've been keeping Georgi Mihailovic on your bench since he was a Rapid, this is a week to keep him on there because I foresee big things happening. I'm so curious about the Evander's point spread, and I guess like now had he been playing the whole season, Golden Boot winner, Ilaski, whatever his name is for Philadelphia Union, that San Diego is surprisingly just let go. I think that could be a big point game. Alston, San Jose, those just seem like teams that aren't going to play defense in that matchup. And then I think there's a really big one where I might bank on some Rapids again, and that's versus Kansas City. I'm going to keep Hoffa in my lineup for that one, I believe.
I am really scared of that game. I might put them on the bench, but they're definitely not the first team I look to go to for this. I am curious, Minnesota versus Portland. Minnesota's just a solid team and solid at home. Obviously, Portland's not traveling too far for that game, but I, I think Minnesota's solid, and I might even look for some defensive options there. I also think that Nashville should have a fucking fun time with Atlanta.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
Nashville versus Atlanta. Have Surge and
yeah,
Mukhtar in your lineup.
Hani's locked and loaded, I think, on that one.
They both had braces this past match, Surge and Mukhtar, I believe.
That sounds right. And Surge is who I took off my team to put Navajo on. So, again,
I mean,
that
to
other
be fair, that was the
timeline.
right call. You couldn't have known that. And
Oh, yeah. No.
we talked about that
This
at
is what
DMVR,
makes the game fun.
the historical precedent said don't play him in that game.
Totally. Yeah. I think that's what is fun about sports and fun about fantasy, is that you can make all the right decisions based on data, matchups, players, and still lose to Kevin 65 to 100.
Kevin Fry's sweet churros and Sara Fitouri's.
At least it
Yeah,
wasn't
just burn
0-3,
churros for
all
me.
right?
What?
At least it wasn't 0-3, all right? At least you put up some points and put up some effort.
Monk, did you already get Paxton Aronson in your lineup for this weekend?
I don't know, actually. I'm gonna have to debate some stuff on my lineup this weekend. Navarro's still gonna be there. Sorry, like I'm gambling on that man to continue to dominate. I'll probably swap out Laraz for Aronson though.
Ooh, a little inside knowledge. I have no idea what sort of minutes he'll get, but from watching that training, Rafael Santos, the signing from Orlando that Rapids brought in, at left wing back, brings a lot of offensive upside. So if you see him starting that position, if we do like the 3-4-3, like a couple weeks ago, I could see him being a very sneaky Rapids fantasy start. He will already be in the game because he's from Orlando.
Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Paxton Aronson has made it into the game yet. Of course, he could by then, but there tends to be a bit of a delay, and unfortunately, I would not anticipate being able to play him yet.
Next, you're going to tell me Rob Holding and Alexi Manyoma aren't in the game yet.
Rob Holding is not. I haven't checked the other.
Man, come on, MLS Fantasy. Get on it.
Remember how Nico Hansen had like started 2 or 3 games before he was added, and there was a huge uproar because he got a clean sheet? So
I remember also how he's listed as Nicholas DeFritas, because he's got the hyphenated
Oh,
last name,
yeah.
Deprincess Hansen. And everyone's like, who the F
Who the
is this
hell?
guy?
Yeah, I think it's like, I'll be honest, like, I love this game, and I really think it's a missed opportunity for investment because I think a lot of folks who get a taste of the Rapids in MLS are like, this is kind of cool. And then fantasy can pull them in farther and make like real fans out of them. But it's kind of, we're chasing our own tail. If they don't put real investment into the game, we see a lot of glitches, delayed on scoring updates, delayed of players being added. There's not a lot of fields you can sort by. They don't do any advertising or marketing. They open the game a week before league starts, so folks can't get their teams together, recruit their friends. Like it. So then the game is not popular. So then they don't put money into it, and it just feels like I think a missed opportunity. So I love it. I hope it sticks around. I hope you all continue to play with us. But it's just disappointing to see it doesn't seem to be a priority of MLS at all.
I think on that point, Sarah, MLS Fantasy, much like FIFA career mode, um, makes at least me personally such a more knowledgeable MLS fan. I learned so many more player names than I would their positions. Like it makes me have a, a much more global understanding of all of the teams, especially Eastern Conference teams that we don't play that much.
There's an Eastern Conference?
We used to be in it, Monk.
Oh, that's right. We won a championship, swapping sides, actually.
And honestly, like,
we
even
were
if you're
too
not,
good Easterns, they kicked us out, Monk.
Perfect. Let's move on. This coming week, Rapids are going to play Kansas City in Kansas City this coming weekend in what is another like very traditional single game week. Monk, what's the data?
Well, the data says similarly to last week. Kansas City is sitting just 2 positions above LA Galaxy at 13th in the West with 24 points at 6-15-6 with a home of 3-6-4. Right? Goals 439, so they do score more than Galaxy, but they have the same goals against as the Galaxy. Both of them are sitting at 55 right now. So this is another we should be able to score goals moment. The factor that the Galaxy didn't let us score and then scored 1/10 of the goals they've scored all season on us in the game, we'll just ignore that. Kansas is also on a 4-game loss streak with the last one against Seattle 5-2. Their last win was at the Dick against the Rapids at the beginning of July, 2-1. While the Rapids are sitting in 7th with 36 points at 10-12-6. Not great on the road, though. 3-7-4. Goals for 36, so we score less, but we've let in 11 less goals. We're sitting at 44 goals let in, and 3 of them were from last game. So I don't know. I think we're the better team. We should win this, especially if we see Aronson starting. I think that would be a big upgrade for us. Hopefully he's going to be starting. But we play down to opponents. We proved it at LA. Like, coming off of that kind of loss, do we come off disappointed and disjointed, or are we coming back hot and angry? And we need to be hot and angry because we can't keep dropping points. Like, our time of playing against less good opponents is coming to an end, and we don't finish the season with that. So we need to get some points here if we want to eke into that last spot. I think we're could be in danger of losing that if we just go on a loss streak now.
Monk, I think you just coined when Little Caesars spearheads the revolution. You just coined their catchphrase, hot and angry. We were hot and ready. What now?
Hot and
Put it on the shirts too. What if we just made one shirt with all of our proposed catchphrases?
I don't look
like
at the numbers.
Have you seen those Cleveland Browns jerseys that have like all of the quarterbacks' names? These are just all of our catchphrases that we tried and failed. Welcome to PIDCAST, hot and angry.
Just to continue my line of petty factoids. because it's relevant, I want to remind everyone of my favorite Sporting Kansas City moment from this year. So, because it involves both Sporting Kansas City and LA Galaxy, which was the game where Sporting played Galaxy and won a game as the first MLS team to ever win a game without having a shot on goal. Because there was a pass that was deflected that went into the goal. Sporting didn't have a single shot on goal the entire game. Galaxy had a single shot on goal that game, I believe. So an entire MLS game with one shot on goal that wasn't by the team that ended up winning. That is the type of high quality soccer that you get to see from Sporting Kansas City and Galaxy until they come and play the Rapids, and then apparently they show up.
That's just, Chris, if you're listening, that's not a challenge. We want shots. We want shots on goal. Yeah.
More than one, actually. Can we give ourselves a couple of tries so that maybe one goes in? Just saying.
This wasn't like a
relying on
happy
the one
birthday
shot.
Chris Armas hard mode request. Like,
Oh, no.
let's shoot some shots. This one's tough because I feel like in the past, the Kansas City Rapid matchups were always so squarely and so fiery. You never know what the outcome could be, despite the makeup and table standings of the teams. But this is now an SKC that has let go of longtime coach Peter Vermees and is without such rapid spoilers as Johnny Russell. So who knows, like, how much they can show up and how much of that kind of old wild matchup will be there. There's also a team, I think the only signing they brought in this transfer window was a center back. I'm guessing they didn't want to really kind of pitch too much money into a squad they didn't know who was going to be coaching next season. So it's not like they have any fresh legs or offensive reinforcements coming to save them. I think, like you guys have touched on, I worry we play down, but I'm going with our reverse matchup trend this season. And I think Chris and the boys are going to be really pissed off about that 4th of July loss at home, and they're gonna come out swinging.
I feel that they're not looking that far back, and they're looking at the rage that hopefully came out of they got shellacked by the Galaxy.
Yeah, I don't want to, again, watch the first 7 minutes of that Galaxy game, then burn the tape and forget it ever happened.
Do you really think we played that much better in the first 7 minutes? Because I don't think we played that much better in the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only tape I want them to watch.
Do you all, Ted Lasso fans, I assume, where he said the way to watch tape on a really bad game like that is to put it in like fast forward and like hyper speed and then put like circus music over it. It's like I feel like that's how we should watch this film. I also just want longtime listeners to know that the elevation of Kansas City is 909 feet, so we will be going down in elevation for this game.
Which Kansas City are you talking about? Which state line?
That's a good point. I didn't specify the state.
Yeah.
Let me... Wait, they play on the Missouri side, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I am worried that I will once again cause this loss. I'm really excited I'll be going out to this game. We've been planning it since the beginning of the season. So me and some friends are going out there, and some buddies who I know who live in Kansas City will be joining us for the game. We haven't bought our official tickets yet, but I'm kind of thinking like sitting behind the away bench, seeing if I can like convince a Purple King to give me a jersey. I don't know.
Well, you know, if you're there, they'll probably run out and give you a scarf, and you just wag your finger and you say, no, I want you to hold out the rest of the game and have it accrue interest because I want a purple. Just make a sign.
Purple King.
Yeah.
Crown me with your jersey. Knight me with your jersey.
I flew all the way to Kansas City for your shirt, Zach.
Excellent. I never thought I would be the kind of person to make a sign, but I am getting desperate. We have like 10 games left, right? Like, what percentage of those is he going to be wearing purple at? I have to compete with a lot less Rapids fans in Kansas City. Guys, this could be my moment.
I want to see you on the broadcast and on socials with a sign.
All right. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I will deeply consider this. But do you know what? Now that you mention it, I think I will wear my jersey kit or my goalie kit, my goalie jersey that I have to the game because I'm always rooting for him.
Well, any more to say on this, or do you want to get into predictions?
I'm hoping that Matt goes and like prays to the Prairie Dogs for this one because we need to not lose back-to-back games in games that we should just dominate in. That's just very bad. So, what is your score prediction, Matt? With the Prairie Dog help, considering the Fitouri is going to be there and put too much pressure on the team, so we're hoping those counteract each other.
Okay. Prairie Dogs help, but Fitouri is in attendance. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 goal scorers are Paxton Aronson and Hoffenbach. And Sara scores a goalkeeper's kit.
Oh, may she be purple. I swear, if
anyone laugh,
anyone,
it's green, and she just like throws it back at him.
guys, if anyone has successfully gotten that purple kit, I can be extorted. Like you could demand a pretty high sum, and as long as you'll take a monthly payment plan, I will probably pay it.
You guys, Sara just told us how much money she can cash out on to start our soccer bar. So
Jordan,
you should.
I will donate a crap ton of money to a nonprofit of your choosing if you manage to get me one of those purple jerseys. By a crap ton, I mean like a moderate amount by someone who still lives paycheck to paycheck, but like, is about to get some vacation days cashed out. So, negotiations are open. Let's go.
She's going to donate more than billionaires pay in taxes, all right? We'll just tell you that.
Easy.
So
like
that's
double,
$1?
maybe triple. Maybe triple.
What's 3 times 0?
Quadruple, you're right. Nah. Man, I'm struggling with the score prediction just because I had a moment of joy and belief, and you heard my diatribe about the Galaxy, and then it just was so painfully wrong. Y'all, I don't know. I hope we start Aronson. I think that he brought some heart to that field that was lacking by the 60th minute, and I'm going to go off of that hope and dream. We'll go 2-1. 2 being I want Aronson to get his first goal. I also I think Yappy.
Right.
Yeah, like Joveljic, I think for the Kansas City one.
Yeah, he's scoring a lot of goals this season.
Yeah, Shallowy is also one that I think is particularly dangerous, but yeah, I think I'm going with their 9. What about you, Monk?
Oh, man. I always try to have the positive outlook. I give us the big scores, hoping
6-0.
and praying. I gave us a huge score differential on the Galaxy game, and we didn't score anything. But you know what? I'm still going to be a fanboy. I'm going to give us 3-0. I'm going to say 3-0. I think Pax gets it. I want to see him come out when he starts getting that goal, showing people that he's here. He's here to deliver. Hava's hard to gamble against. I think he's been a dominant scorer. My third one, part of me wants to give it to Yappy, but you know what? Sammy B.
Sammy B, Sammy V.
Sammy B.
Slam
Bassett. Okay.
Slam Bassett.
I thought for sure you were going to give it to Rob Holding.
I want Sam to get his first
one.
run of the play goal. Damn it. I've been waiting all season.
He really just wants, we have secretly behind the scenes said we're holding out for Amy Bassett to come on the podcast until Sam scores his first goal. So I think Monk just misses Amy.
It's true.
And wants to have her on for a chat.
Any final thoughts?
Let's not be so confident in our destruction this week, Sara, and just hope things go our way.
Yeah, here's my rant for this week. Sports are really about the people you meet and the joy you have. And really, everyone can have a participation trophy. What does it matter? Rapids don't really have many trophies anyways. So, like, everyone should just go to their favorite bar. Shout out to Inglewood Grand that I will not be at watching the game this weekend. And just, laugh with some friends. And hopefully you're laughing with the Rapids. But if you're laughing at the Rapids, at least we're all laughing.
No, fuck that. About the badge. Give me my goddamn wins.
Guys, do you know what I learned this week? That
The
on
elevation
the
of Kansas City?
And I noticed that the Galaxy's jerseys have a big silver star and a little gold star. Apparently that's what happens when you can't fit all of your little stars on your badge. Which luckily, guys, that's something we're not going to have to worry about, like, at least in our lifetime.
And they still have more stars on their jersey than we do.
We're not gonna have we're not gonna have to worry about it because we're gonna switch to the old round crest, and then all 20 of our incoming stars are just gonna nicely circumnavigate the badge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It'll be like the US flag. Just keep adding stars. Who cares?
Oh, man.
Monk,
Fitouri, where can people
Sara,
find you?
You all can find me eating some barbecue in Kansas City this weekend. If you're going to the game, reach out to me.
Overrated barbecue.
If you have strong opinions about what the best barbecue is, at Matt. If you have any favorite places you think I should check out, I'm a big thrift girly. In my opinion, I have found that in Missouri, you can find a lot of union-made stuff or old Union swag in thrift stores. So I'm very excited to hit some thrift shops up. Anyways, send me your favorite spots. And also, message me on the socials at the Fitouri. How about you, Matt?
I just want to find out that like Zach has listened to this and put the purple jersey in a thrift store near the stadium in Kansas City. You'd die, right? Like you'd be deceased.
Dead. No, because do you know what he's going to do? He's going to walk in and be like, put $500 on this one. And I'm going to be sitting there being like, I said I'd pay a lot. Here it goes.
Zach, Sara wants to make a voice now donation right now.
Literally, yes. Tell me the dollar amount. The problem is there is no dollar amount. I can't get it.
We'll see.
I could save up. I can mow lawns.
What about your grass allergy?
No, yeah, not hay. Lawns. Good suburban lawns. No farm work.
We don't really
I
have
would die.
lawns here in Denver proper.
All those liberals.
Oh man. Find me at Matthew Wick on Blue Sky. Find me watching Dying Teacher and dancing my pants off. What about you, Monk?
You can find me at the Monk of C38 on Burgundy Sky. This weekend, I'm probably watching at home, or actually, I might be watching at my sister's house because we're doing our fantasy draft this weekend.
Oh.
So,
Wait,
and then I have a way to go on
fantasy?
Sunday. It's such a busy weekend for me. Luckily, hopefully, I have nothing going on Monday. I can just play Pokemon because I'm really trying to get through that. It's a lot of work. But you know what? Up the pits.
Up the pits.
Up the fucking page.
Can we win one, please?
Tú tienes esa cosa especial, bella mariposa